But yeah, I got home and then just exhausted. Just exhausted traveling. I'm not cut out for it. I like when I'm there and I like when I'm home. That in between stuff, I don't know how people do it. Maybe you young bucks, some of you young comics and whatnot. You see, I get anxiety looking at a comic's schedule. It's like, hey, check out my dates. And it's like December 5th, 6th, 8th, 10th, 11th, 15th, 16th. And you're like, what? And the different cities, and they're flying multiple times a week and getting delayed and having assholes next to them and having a rude staff and stuff. And I'm just like, it gives me like, I put myself in that position. You ever do that? You just put yourself in the position of if you had to be going to the airport and packing and unpacking in a hotel and doing a gig, and then you're back and you pack up and you leave and another gig, 2 days. And I can do it. I like getting up on stage and doing a little stand-up every so often. But the idea of that being your full-time job, and I see Jim Norton, he's doing it. He's no spry young guy anymore. He's not old by any stretch of the imagination. But there's just something that comes with getting a little older. You're in your 40s, 50s. And the thought of flying around, it's not a grand adventure anymore. It's a grand inconfucking-venience. And you see some of these guys, and I don't know how they do it. Like Shane Gillis is a younger guy, Mark Norman and things like that. I don't know. Even that, though. How long? How long do you do it? I guess you're supposed to do it forever. If you're in your 30s and you're a touring road comic, club comic, you're not playing arenas, but you're playing, a few theaters along your tour, but mostly comedy clubs, and you're in your 30s, you got to think like, where is this going? What am I aiming for? Years ago, it was a sitcom. That was it. Or that big special that would put you on another level, and all of a sudden you're the big name in comedy and you are doing TV shows. And I think you can then go, yeah, I could retire. This has gotten me to the point where I don't have to, unless your stepbrother takes your money, like Dane Cook. Oh, poor bastard. He made so much money, probably set for life. And it's like, no, you're not set for life. You're not set for this week. So, but that's so rare. That is so rare that happens to a comic. So the actual vision as a comic is, so I'm going to be doing this forever. I'm getting on planes. I'm flying to some club somewhere where there's going to be a lot of drunk, obnoxious people. I'll make them laugh. The club owner will try to me out of some money. I'll have to debate that. I'll hawk my wares at the front door selling merch. And then you're back on a plane doing it again with no real end game. You're just, yeah, I'll do it next week and the next week and more gigs. And nowadays, with so many platforms out there, you don't wait for the big break from HBO to say, wow, you're good, we want to give you a comedy special. They do it themselves. They hire the crew, they video the whole thing, and then they put it out on their own site. Or sometimes Netflix picks it up, and I guess you can make some money that way, but there doesn't seem to be the end game for comics anymore. Like I said, it was a sitcom. Every comic that was a little more serious than just your basic one city club comic, every year they'd go out to LA for pilot season. And they'd audition and pitch themselves for various comedy sitcoms going on. I don't even think that happens anymore. I don't even think there is a pilot season like that anymore. I think producers of shows and a lot of different platforms now, Amazon and Netflix and Hulu and Apple TV, the producers of these shows that are going to be on these platforms, they already know who you are. As a comic, you don't have to go to LA, sit in front of people and go, well, this is who I am and this is my comedy and I'm good for this sitcom or that. They already know. They've seen you 1,000 times on YouTube and Instagram and X and Twitter and X. They know. They know who you are. They know what you do. If they wanted you for anything, don't call us. We'll call you. Save your flight to L.A. So I don't think it's that big of a thing anymore. And that's really got to be discouraging to comics at this point, because that was at least that blurry hope in the future. As long as you have a blurry hope to look at and go, yeah, that's my end game. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something there, and there's things I need to do to pursue that. Now it's like the thing you need to do is go out and tour and fly every other day to another club in the U.S. And it just seems like a miserable life. The people that are supposed to be the funniest people are leading some of the most miserable lives that are out there. And I don't even mean personally their psyche or their depression or their attitudes. We all know, and we've known for years, comics aren't the most stable, happy people when they're off stage. So I don't know these days. I get, and the fact that I don't know, I have a lot of comic friends. I could probably ask them. But right now, as I sit here speaking to you, I don't know how they feel about this, or I don't know what their end games are these days. I don't think it's sitcoms. I don't think it's getting on Kimmel. That was a thing back in the day. What's your goal? Oh, if I could get a set on Carson, I'll be, overnight. I'll be getting movies or guest spots and this and that. That's done. A comic can be on Kimmel, and they're just as unknown the next day as they were before they went on. And guy comics, Amy Schumer, she's getting popular again because she lost a ton of weight. Had nothing to do with her comedy. They're just putting her in. She's getting ink. She's, out there on social media, TMZ and entertainment sites, Variety. Not for one word that she says as a comedian out of her mouth. But she lost a bunch of weight. They're like, oh, Amy Schumer looks so good. And you're like, yeah, who cares? What about the fat guy comic? He lose weight. What do you think? He's going to all of a sudden get write-ups? And no. He's going to have to get on a flight, probably buy 2 seats on Spirit to pay for his fat ass. I just don't know. I could not do that. I don't like traveling now. It's just too inconvenient. And for the most part, I'm taking an hour and 45-minute flight from Greenville to New York City. So, and it's either for, 3 days, or this past week. It was a week. And a couple of days in, you start thinking, you look at your luggage in the hotel room, and you're like, oh, I'm going to have to pack this up and get on a plane, the airport.